What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Shine Runners Racing Radio in the house tonight. We were talking about the Category 6 SWANNY, and we've got it right here. The winds have picked up in this joint tonight, baby.
He's here.
Man, I'm glad to see you back, SWANNY.
Barely.
Making it all the way back from California.
Dude, that was a nightmare.
How was that trip?
It started off pretty bad. Our flights got delayed because of that little snowstorm or something they had coming across the country there. So they delayed us, and we finally got us a flight out. And then we made it to L.A. about 2:30 their time, which was 4:30 our time, or however that worked out. We were gassed when we got there.
Oh, I imagine.
But it worked out. The next day was pretty fun. Went down Hollywood and checked all that stuff out, and it was different. Went and checked the race out Sunday. That was pretty cool. That was, everybody had their opinion about it.
I was going to say, I've heard a lot of mixed emotions, but you were there firsthand.
I was there, and it was pretty damn cool, if you ask me.
That's awesome.
It was a promotional. It did its job. It got everybody talking, and hopefully they'll do it again.
That's about the fullest I've seen stands like that in a while.
It was packed, man. It had a bunch of different people there. Like I was telling you before, there was a bunch of rednecks out there in L.A.
Yeah.
L.A. Yep.
That's where Joe Dirt was.
And then it was pretty cool.
That's how I got my wife, Joe Dirt.
We knocked off a couple of things off our bucket list. We went and we seen Ice Cube, we seen Pitbull, and we went to L.A. And it was fun. We got the full LA experience. Went and got us some good Mexican food while we were over there, and it was a good time over there.
10-4, man. Well, tonight, Bo, we are powered up by Eco Advantage Termite and Pest Solutions, 425-6415, specializing in inspections, termite treatment, moisture control, vapor barriers, and all kinds of good stuff. If you need any pest control, make sure you contact the folks who are powering the show tonight, Eco Advantage Termite and Pest Solutions. And, we were on the show the other night. We were talking with Brad Page, and we were like racers helping racers. Man, Richie Young with Eco Advantage, he races the Mod Light out there at Rockfish, and we were fortunate enough to be sitting in front of BillDobier tonight. We're going to be talking to him a little bit about Rockfish Speedway and everything, but it's cool to have folks, powering up the
It is pretty cool looking little screen there. He's always recognizable stuff with the Spider and the one there. You notice his trucks.
I think Gary Jacobson raced for them a little bit too, if I'm not mistaken.
I think a couple of years ago.
Cool. Well, man, we're going to file it out in the house tonight. We have got some great company. Man, I bet I've got 13,000 questions to ask you guys, so we're going to minimize it down so we can get out of here in an hour. But BillDobier at Rockfish Speedway in the house, home of the Billy McFadden Winter Classic, and the Hurricane Hank himself sitting here in front of us. A straight-up legend, man. I tell you what. I'm kind of giddy to have you in here.
Just a regular old dude like you, man.
Well, you wouldn't believe there's a lot of them that think more than that. You have done a lot in your time in racing and your family as well, and we chased your daughter around for years,
Oh, yeah.
We still try to kick Willie to the curb every now and again, but no, man, glad to have y'all in the house tonight. And, I'm sure y'all saw Sunday. How was your feelings about the new Gen machines?
Well, we got to chance to hear. We got a chance to hear a lot about it Friday night before the expo, and I was kind of anxious to see what happened, and just about everything he said might happened Sunday. So, but I thought it was a great promotional event. NASCAR did a great job getting people there, getting stars that people knew that were familiar from outside the realm of the national NASCAR crowd. I think they did a really good job promoting it for sure. SWANNY could probably tell you more, but I think they said 8,000 people at the last Busch duel, and there was 50,000 in the stands. So
nice.
We have a 70% new fan rate.
Yeah,
that's the number, 70% new fans, and I believe it because there was a lot that was like, man, this is cool. They kept going around interviewing people, and they were like, oh, this is cool. This is my first race, or this guy got me into racing, or whatever, and it was pretty cool to see, the new fans, young fans, my age, was there for the first time.
That's good stuff.
That's a group that's not in racing hardly, is my age group.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we can get that around here. And, like I said, BillDobier here of Rockfish Speedway. And earlier on in the year, it was kind of stated that the last race was the last race for Rockfish Speedway. But fortunately, We're here talking to you tonight, so to say, lighting the fuse on the 2022 season.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
It's going to be a great time. Bill, we've been fortunate enough to race at your track past couple of years. AJ raced there before then, and and SWANNY got he busted his cherry there with photography.
For us. That's right.
Yep.
So a lot of good stuff going in tonight, guys. If y'all have any questions, you're more than welcome to put them in there. We'll get them put up on the screen tonight, and go ahead and let us know where you're from. Click like and follow for all the shenanigans that we have going on here. We're going to follow it through this evening. So, Bill, you got a couple things coming up. You got the awards banquet coming up here in February.
Banquet, February 19th, 11 to 3 up there at Paradise Acres. So, looking forward to that, getting all the 2021 trophies handed out and kind of highlighting all of our top 3 and top 5 winners of last season, and then getting ready to crank up this season.
A lot of good racing last season from all divisions. And we've actually looking at March the 19th as the fire-up date for Rockfish Speedway.
Yeah, we looked at the schedule, and, of course, I was late getting the schedule out because we didn't really know where we were at early on in the season, which is tough. So we tried to work around tracks like Millbridge and Fayetteville and some tracks to make sure that we didn't step on anybody's toe because we were late to the game. But I decided to step it up a little earlier this year. We usually don't start till April. We moved it up to March 19th. We're going to take a little time off in the dead of summer, and then we'll race a little bit more early and a little later on in the year also.
Well, if it's going to be 190,000 degrees or it's going to be -7, it's going to happen at a racetrack. I believe both of y'all can contest to that one.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, we talked a little bit about different classes you might have coming in this year, so some awesome information that you got to put out.
Yeah, so, we're going to still run the junior sprints, the 270 and restricted 600, the 600 micro, the mod lights. We're going to put on a few big races for the legends, of course, or vintage cars, we call them there. We talked to Tobias Slingshots. Guy's got a dealership up there in Western Carolina. We're going to try to help Robert out and try to bring some Tobias Slingshots to the show, which would be interesting.
Oh, yeah. Those things look cool. He didn't have one at the trade show in Hickory. He was the booth behind ours, and I kind of looked at some of his stuff he had, and those things are neat. Those are neat looking cars.
We actually looked into that because we're going to be moving up next year, and so we're trying to figure out what we want to go to. Definitely want to try to keep it dirt. I've looked into the whole Bando deal, and we'd rather stay dirt. That's where we were born at, and it's just one of those situations. But we're really considering that if that's a class that may come, that may get a frequent there.
Yep.
That's something we're definitely looking to put wide into.
So the Slingshots were good. We've also been in touch with the Sharp Mini late models, which we had them about 3 years ago. They ran a few races with us when there was a few of them around locally. They're starting to get a North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia type club together.
Yeah.
The Tennessee Sharp Mini late model representative reached out to me, so we're going to try to put on a national event. October 22nd is what we're shooting for. Try to bring 30 of those things in and let them bang fenders. They brought an awesome race to Rockfish a few years back when we ran them, and so hopefully getting some of them back. Something we're pretty excited about. We're going to do a little testing on another class coming up the end of this month, and if you like the arena type shows, you're probably going to like what we're going to bring to the party.
I love that idea, and it's cool. Let's keep them suspensed on that.
Yeah.
You're looking at releasing that a little bit later.
Yep.
But, man, you want to talk about something that's going to be cool. I think it's not quite so much going to be a demo derby, but it's going to be a for real. The action's going to be packed in that one.
Yep, like Larry used to say, action's going to be the main attraction when we let them turn loose.
And that's something there. We talked to a lot of people about Rockfish, and they're like, where's that at? We'd be at Walmart right there on Gillis Hill, and it's like, yeah, we're going to Rockfish Day. Where's that? It's like, just down this road right here. God, I live down that road, and I ain't never heard of it.
That's right.
So that's something too, man, getting out this year, and we've got plans on doing that. I've reached out to a couple different people, and we're going to try to hit the Walmart parking lot the morning of the race, put a couple cars out. I made a Rockfish banner. Hope you don't mind. But I made it and, put it out and try to promote, too, to get more people to the racetrack, because everybody we've ever brought to Rockfish has loved it. They've come back. So,
right.
That's the main thing, getting the marketing out there and definitely reaching out to new people. With the whole NASCAR thing, maybe this will pump up some new people in our area to come out and check it out. Everybody that gets to the racetrack and sees it, they're like, man, where can I buy one of those at, or where can I get my kid into it? And that's something tonight I wanted to go and talk to you just a little bit about. Y'all opening up that junior micro class, junior sprint class. How has that helped micro sprint racing in the area?
Well, so a little background on what started it. We always tried to run. We had a big crowd of 270s when we first opened 9-10 years ago. Everybody kind of had a 270, and we had Brittany and Jason. Everybody had a 270, and then Jason Brown actually talked to me and said, "Man, bring a 600 here, and you'll never regret it." And so we started the micros here when there was really no micros in North Carolina. We were the only track running them. There was some talk for people. Pennsylvania supported us pretty well at the time and has ever since with the Winter Classic, obviously. But so we started to lose the 270 when everybody went to 600. So we also had a go-kart division that I felt like was getting really fast for a kart that really wasn't designed to race.
Yeah.
And so Dan Messier and I, a couple other people, kind of put our heads together and said, what can we do, to put together a safe, affordable kids class, but then have the ability to swap that motor out, put a 270 on it, and build the 270 class. And really, the first year out, I think there was 16 or 18 junior sprints came to the first season. We opened them, so it was and some of those kids have taken that junior sprint off and moved up.
Yeah.
Some of the girls we had racing with us. So
it was cool to see, Grayson Dearson, he ended up winning the championship, so he got the ride with Jason Brown.
That's right.
And, it's just a lot of growth there. It has allowed, growth. So,
right.
Kudos to you for doing that. And as far as the classes that you're Saturday night running, what's that going to be?
Full-time, it's going to be the junior sprints, 270s with the restricted 600s. We got some young kids that want a 600, but they don't want to go full bore 600, so they're putting restrictors on, like Grayson ran last year, and a couple of the other kids, and we're going to run that. Then we're going to run the 600s, obviously, the mod lights. The Legends, we're going to run them a little bit, but it's kind of a mixed bag. Not every week, because they've obviously got a weekly schedule at Fayetteville, and that's where they want to race at, and they're tied with the INEX series there, so we're going to let them do their thing. And we're still going to run a few big races. I anticipate doing some maybe some big INEX shows at Rockfish with the Legends. And like I said, we're going to bring in a couple other touring series and a few other different groups of cars and just see what unfolds for us. So should be a good show.
That's good stuff. We are firing off here, Studio 24 here tonight, powered by Eco Advantage Termite and Pest Solutions, and with BillDobier in the house, of course, Hurricane Hank Edwards, and my man over here, SWANNY. Man, so I know you're a big car man, but you got your photography break, so to say, at Rockfish Speedway. What's your feeling about the sprint cars?
The micros was pretty cool. The first time I seen them, it was different. Probably the first time I actually seen the 600 or the 270s, and that was pretty cool. Really, anything small car at all, period, was that night, and it's a change from the bigger cars, and them micro guys, they put on a show. I prefer the wingless.
Yep.
Something about them, I don't know what the difference is, or I guess it's handling, or maybe they can move around a little bit more. I prefer the wingless.
Yep. A lot of times they say that having the wing is like a crutch.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely the wingless. We're going to try to run more wingless. That's kind of the trend in the country, and we're seeing with micros. The drivers love it because you can really move around a lot, get really racy. The wings kind of lock them down, and then it becomes a single file. Just they're going so fast, and they're handling so good that it's hard to move up. I think SWANNY can attest. The first time he was in the infield with us, and the same thing with me. When a micro 600 is getting around Rockfish now,
it's rolling.
I had. First year we raced there, I think we didn't finish like 7 times. And so I spent my fair share of being in the infield. And even the little kids is rolling out there. I mean, they're running a good, 45, 50 mile an hour. So a lot of good speed, a lot of good action. And that's the thing, we've been trying to tell people. Rockfish Speedway has got the action. My mic is muted. That ain't good. Sound is cutting in and out. Here, let me pull it up. Maybe your phone. Mom's got that Obama internet.
Yeah.
No, but I forgot what I was saying. Oh, coming out of turn 2 down there, the speed of those cars, man. We got over on the other side of the racetrack and saw them coming out of turn 2. That's amazing. That's where I want to be. Shoot, I want to park over there this year.
That's a lot different over there, ain't it?
It is a whole lot different.
A lot faster down the back stretch.
Yeah.
And they're going into turn 1, I think.
Yep. And so the past weekend we were able to go down to Charlotte, Racers Expo. Y'all have a good turnout for that one?
We did a good time. Troy Van Allen brought his car from last year, and he's got Scrappy, a guy that is from over his way that's going to race. It should be entertaining. A lot of new cars. We had a lot of interest, a lot of guys out there, and trying to look at getting into the Mod Lights or the 600s. We had quite a bit of interest at the Charlotte Expo, and that kind of carried over the last couple of days. I've had a lot of calls from people now that we know we're going back full bore. I think it's going to be a good thing. I think it's going to be a good year. Looking at Lakeview last week, looks like a few new junior sprints, and
yeah.
I think every class is going to grow this year for sure, and that's always exciting. We got a lot going on at the track and a lot we're working on now. People will see it'll be a whole different Rockfish Speedway when you get to the track this year.
Cool. And we were talking earlier, you were looking for workers. If there's anybody out there that might be interested, what avenue are you looking for?
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of big projects going on now. So Jonathan Kamiaka, Bill's Well Drilling's out there. The first big challenge we had this year was to get a water solution.
Yeah.
And so he's out there getting us a deep well put in that we can make sure we got a water source. We don't have to count on Mother Nature to fill the pond, and I don't have to fight with the pumps on top of a frac tank and try to buy water and all this other stuff. So that's a big project. We got, all kinds of stuff. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag on some of the projects, but yeah, if you want to help, we're going to be probably doing a work day at the end of this month, just trying to get some painting touched up, get some manual hands-on labor, some stuff that we got to get done out there. And I'll be announcing that. And then anybody that wants to be a sponsor, that's something I haven't done a real good job of the last couple of years. I try to do everything myself.
I know a guy.
Yeah, and so we got some sponsorships. And, if you're interested in sponsoring Rockfish, I had a young lady reach out to me earlier today. Just hit me up. Hit me up on Facebook, myself personally, the page, the internet, on the rockfishdirt.com page, and we'll be glad to talk to you all different options. We got divisional sponsors that are coming on board this year that we haven't had, and anybody wants to sign, 4x8 sign. If you want a banner, small banner, we talked about that. We'll do any wide range to help the track and the races coming up this year.
And something else too, drivers out there. If you're fortunate enough, if you get it laid into your hands, do something, give back. You know what I mean? We've tried to do a lot, and I'm not just tooting our horn, but we've tried to give a lot back to racing. If you got an extra $25, put up a pole bonus. That goes a long way. With those sponsors hearing their name and stuff like that, just like tonight, powered by Eco Advantage, Termite and Pest Solutions. Racers helping racers, because it takes all of us. I mean, all the way down from the sponsors, the track promoters, the marketing people like SWANNY, you know what I mean? All of us come together, our drivers, the pit crew, moms that are making brownies and sausage dogs, you know what I mean? It takes everybody to make the racing program what it is, and we all work together. It's going to be a more beautiful place. That's the way I look at it.
If we, Jim Long from Steel Block Bandits and I had lunch Monday, and we were talking about a post that Kenny Wallace had made about the Cup race this weekend. It's just like what SWANNY was saying about L.A. If it's not your cup of tea, go support your local dirt track. Mm-hmm. If you liked what you saw, go support NASCAR, but don't badmouth the tracks. Make it a positive. If you don't like what NASCAR's doing and you want to support something else,
support it.
Come support the local dirt track, man. Every track is looking for somebody to come to them, and that's the key thing. Without the tracks, there's no, you got to travel to race, and people don't want to do that, especially with the expense of today. And
I have to say, I don't know if you guys were watching Foul the other night when the question was asked Dalton Wilson about how about Volusia's new surface, and his positive answer. There was no track bashing. There was no negativity. He's got straight winner circle on his mind. You know what I mean? That is, to me, I don't know how everybody else feels, but I declare that's a pioneer of the sport. I believe, Dalton Wilson's going to go a lot of places. He really is, especially with that, mentality and attitude of, let's keep it positive. And that goes a long way. I'm going to throw out there keyboard warriors. They're the first person that can hurt a track, because if I've never been to a racetrack and I pop on your Facebook and all I hear is a bunch of nagging, well, I ain't going out there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, if you read positiveness, it makes you want to go. And I feel that there's a lot of things. Social media is the angel and the devil all at the same time, if it's not used correctly. If it's used correctly, it can get you sponsors and help.
It's a very powerful tool if it's used right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. They showed during the Wild West shootout or whatever, they showed a post or whatever that was boosted, and it was it reached 2 million people or something like that, and it was only run for 4 days. It was some stupid number. And that's what you want, and it was all positive or whatever. So if you can do that and you can turn those numbers like that, there's a bunch of people seeing your stuff.
Yeah.
And it's it's always it's a good tool as long as you don't get a bunch of knuckleheads on there.
It's definitely changed, right? We were talking about earlier with Hank about just the technology, where his dad was building engines in a room this size.
Yeah.
And then now kids are Googling how to adjust valves and do stuff. Back then it was hands-on, and that's what you did.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing here is, before all this internet stuff, people just went racing, had a good time. You didn't hear any backlash. But now it's, like you said, it can be the best thing. And then I've seen nights where you just want to unplug it all. You know what I mean? People just have a bad night and they release it. But
I was fortunate enough to shoot a video called Clay Gold. And I'd sat down with a couple different drivers, my dad being one, Genuine Junkyard Dog, Steve Core, Mike Parker, and we got to talking, and they were like, we wanted our tire to lean out. We had to weld rods in the A-frame, or we had to go get this out of this motor and put it in that motor to make it work and get faster. And technology, I think, and this is something, Hank, you can chime in on. Do you think these cars are going any faster than they were going back when you were racing versus how much money these people were spending?
Not really. I mean, certain racetracks maybe, but not really. Before they cut Fayetteville down, the different size of Fayetteville, they never run no faster than we did, because I've been around Fayetteville years ago in 15.90, 1580, in a small body car, so. I don't think they're going any faster. Tires are different too now.
Yeah.
Than where they were years ago. So, but to me, it's just got so expensive. A lot of people, like probably in the 90s, my dad would have 8 or 9 engines in a row to build for people. We'd have to work out there to probably 11 or 12 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? All winter to get everybody's engines ready and stuff. And he would only charge them $400. Just for labor. They paid their own parts, and he only charged you $400 just for, to put the motor together and stuff.
And I've heard from a lot of
You
people.
can't do that now. Nobody does it anymore.
I've heard from a lot of people Mr. Edwards was a man before his time.
Yeah, he would let you put stuff on credit. People would come over to my dad's, I want to go racing, but I don't have no gas, I don't have no money, I don't get paid the next week. My dad say, he'd write it in his little book, make sure you come by and pay me.
I remember that building he had on up top of the hill. Not the race shop where the race cars was at, but the one up there he had on him plowed up plastic and where he kept all of his parts and everything.
Yeah,
everybody would come up there on Saturday needing this and that and whatever. Oh yeah, take it or whatever and get it.
Pay me when you get the money.
Pay when you get the money.
We had a chance to have Keith Smith in here a couple years back, and he was telling me that he got the opportunity of a lifetime was to go in your dad's motor room. It's like not everybody made it past that door. That's a lot of big name drivers that came his way, and he produced a lot of horsepower. Both your brothers, so what was it like? Being a part of that was the team back in the day, and even to today, we sit across here and we talk about, you and Porky were the show. Y'all were the show. And now Christian and Willie, that's the show. That's what sells people in the seats. Fayetteville, North Carolina, if you were coming to Fayetteville Motor Speedway, it was to see you and your brother race. And that's how it was back in those days.
Sibling rivalry, man.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
yeah.
I didn't want to lose to him, and he didn't want to lose to me. And sometimes other people got in the way. Cause like one time we was at Dublin, and I was leading the race, and the old wedge cars. And after the race, Porky come down there and jumped all over me and cussed me out. And my daddy come over there and said, Porky, Hank was in the damn front. You was back there. That was Jack Pennington that run into you. I mean, we just had to lose to one another.
Yeah.
It was like that every race.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why the fans loved it, I guess.
Yeah. And that, to me, that's what sells seats. Action sells seats. And that little bit of rivalry there, you know, that puts tails in the seat to me. You know what I mean? And, you know, so growing up through the sport, what was your first car?
Race car?
Yeah.
Shoot, man, let me think back. We used to get cars from a place called Lisa Lemon on Brad Boulevard, and they had the Enduro class, and we could get cars by them like $50. They were Chryslers,
$50?
I ain't lying. That's the only thing you can get for $50.
But that's all they paid to win was $50. But that's how we got started with just the Enduro class, and then it turned into Street Stalkers.
Uh-huh.
And back then you only made like $75 if you won.
Man.
But it was all in the fun. It wasn't about the money.
Yeah.
It was about having a good time with all your friends. You know, you pulled a car with a station wagon and loaded everybody in there, the dogs and everybody else. You know.
Mike Parker was telling me that, you know, him and Pop and Donald Ray, they had 3 cars and 1 trailer. So they'd have to bring a car to the track and drop it off and then go back home and get another one. And you know, I grew up in the 80s, and that was a great time for me. And looking back in those days, I found that as a simpler form of racing. You know what I mean? I seen more of the fun. Not saying that it's not fun today, because it is. Man, believe me, when I get out there with that youngin', you know, we have a blast. We'll have Bobby Jackson sometime. He'll come fill the grill up, and you know, I know we're not supposed to have beer, but we might have some in a cup. You can't throw us out now. We won the championship, Bill.
Yeah, that's right.
But anyway, you know, we have a great time. And to me, that's what it's all about. It's the fun family atmosphere and being able to grow with your competitors. So I love all them kids. I just as much love seeing another one of them youngins in victory lane as I do love seeing my own. You know what I mean? I love seeing the growth of the racing and the camaraderie and you know, I can walk up to Tim Nye's trailer, or I can walk up to Jason Brown's trailer, or anybody and say, hey man, y'all got a disc, and if they got one, you got it. And that's, you know, I get that a lot from your track, man. That's that home family feeling from Rockfish Speedway. And Dad talks about the stories, you know, back in the 80s and stuff. And that's how it was a lot of times. After the racetrack, shoot, y'all would end up at somebody's house if it rained out, cook on the grill and hang out and just be family. And I grew up in that. So it really stuck with me in those days of racing.
It's all about having a good time, because you ain't going to get rich.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
That's it.
People say, "Oh, you rich? You won the race the other night. You know, you made."
Yeah. The quickest way to get
back into the car.
Quickest way to get 500,000 is start racing with $1 million.
Exactly.
You know.
Yes, so that's economy.
Yeah. Now, your son-in-law, Willie, out there on the track, and Willie, he's one of the men to beat. How did you feel? I seen the Edwards Memorial race, and he won it in a car that was themed after a car that you raced.
Right.
How was that feeling of looking across the racetrack and seeing that orange 66 coming down the straightaway?
You feel old as hell.
Because you didn't know nothing about it, right? You didn't know anything about it until you got there, right? Yeah. Because I went over there to give him his band, or his, no, that was that one of our races? No. I went over there and took a picture of something. No, I wanted a picture of it for myself, and Willie was like, "Oh, we can't do nothing with it or whatever." Somebody wanted a picture of it. He's like, "No, Hank's almost here, whatever." And I'm like, "Man, come on." He was like, "No, he ain't know nothing about it." You know, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah, well,
that's awesome.
Surprised me that.
And to see that family tradition carried on, and you know, I have a lot of respect for Crystal. She's so much around racing. She's not just Willie's wife, but she's a marketer, and she's a supporter, and you know what I'm saying? If there's ever been a person that has been 100% into this sport, it's definitely Crystal Milliken. You know, she is always, and sometimes Willie will say, shoot, I got to worry about her when I pull back in here because she'll get on me if, you know, need be. And so it's awesome to see, you know, Crystal into the whole racing aspect as well. Your whole family is gold when it comes to racing.
I think it was 1993 that Crystal started, like the first time I ever heard of it, www.com. Back then, that's World Wide Web, whatever it was called. And she's the one that got the Hurricane Hank bars on, you know, on Facebook or whatever it was back then on the web. She's the one that got it started, not me. But
how'd you like that weather
she's
report?
always been into it.
I really like that.
We did a Rooster on the 30s weather report, went down. I thought that was rather fitting.
Yeah, my neighbor said, what's a Category 6?
Number 6. I had a Category 66, and then I got looking, there was more 6. Then, so do you miss it? Do you miss being behind the wheel?
No, not really. That's why I go to Rockfish. I get my thrill over there watching the race.
In the pack car.
In the pack car.
Well, it don't run quite fast enough.
You ever just want to gas that thing, man, and get her sideways?
I do. It won't go no down faster than that.
You got to take the traction control button off of that thing, and then it'll go a little bit faster.
If you roll the windows down, it'll go a little bit faster.
Now, Billy used to get mad as hell at me now. When I used to help him out there at Fate, we'd run the pack cars in. If you would gas it or go there and go in the corner and throw it in or something like that, he'd get mad. You slow that damn thing down. He'd yell at us and stuff like that. So
I can gauge how the track's going to be by Hank rolling in with the pack car. Now, when he goes by and he's starting to, the carburetors are kicking in on that thing, and he's giving me the thumbs up, and it's getting a little faster and a little faster, and there's no brake lights. He's just getting faster and faster. Then I know it's going to be right.
So you're the man. If I throw an extra $100, you can make it black for us. Because that thing blacks up, son, they can forget catching that 2-3, baby. You hear me?
Yeah, put some calcium on the track. We'll get it back.
oh boy.
That sucker, son, it's like a slingshot.
Salt, calcium, or whatever. What do you call it now? Sodium?
Just H2O is the only thing I use.
So if we go to Rockfish and it's
But
black,
it'll get hard if you use calcium.
That's right.
So if we
The
go
tires will wear out.
to Rockfish and it's black, we know Hank's got control of the track pretty for the
That's it. You'll know Rooster done paid Hank, and he got the damn track right. I'm going to tell you what, I don't know what it is. That car just don't like a wet track. But that night, that track was black, and he left and never showed back up. I wish y'all could have saw the micro or junior sprint dads have a little phone conversation. We had to put a lot of Band-Aids on their asses after that race, boys. It was, I'm telling you what, I love a black track now. But good stuff, man. A lot of great things. And I was fortunate enough to Crystal called me, and she said, Rooster, is there any chance that you can build a clock? I said, I don't know. I ain't never built a clock. She said, well, I've got a clock that my dad won, 1984 championship. And I went over to little Hank's house and took pictures of it and all this stuff, and we recreated that thing. And that was the Edwards Memorial Trophy. And, man, that night I saw Willie win that thing, and you guys up there too. You know, that clock is – a piece of family history. Yeah. And when I went to little Hank's house, I got cold chills just taking pictures of that thing. Because I don't know, man, it's just, that's in my heart is those older days of racing and seeing, you know, this guy put this thing together. And, you know, we were talking about trophies the other day of how, you know, different stuff hits the heart. Was there a trophy or a race or something that you remember more than anything?
Yeah, but if I get talking about my family, I get all, you know, emotional and get upset. But
Dad cries all the time when we're talking. It's all good.
One of the last races my mom went. Yeah, I won one of them. Still got the trophy, I think. Yeah. So that's one of the most favorite ones. You know, I think it was '99 somewhere. Lakeview had a big race. We won it.
And when was your last race?
Rockfish.
I put him in one of the mod lights. Well, he ran the Legend a little bit for Brownie too, but and he obviously sets up Levi's car and gets him around there pretty good. But I put Hank in one of the first mod lights we brought. It had a chrome body on it.
I remember that.
And put Hank in it, and the left front never touched the ground. He walked off and left the field, and everybody was saying, well, I couldn't see. That body was awful shiny. I couldn't see what was going on, but they couldn't see anything because he was checked out. But That was probably one of the best ones.
Bunch of people kept teasing me. There ain't no way you're gonna win. I ain't never even drove. I practiced with it, and come to find out, the rear end tube was hitting on the frame, making a left rear pickup. So I took a damn saw, and cut it off that Friday and that Saturday. Bill said, yeah, "Go ahead and drive. If you win, I'll look out for you. Don't worry about it. Just I need to, trying to sell the car. He was trying to sell it." And a guy who works for Brownie said, "If you win, I'll give you $40. If you win." He was over there after the race. Here you go. There's your $40.
And I had a chassis with a pipe fitting in it, the bend with pipe fittings welded in it to make sure the axle didn't hit the front chassis.
That was the very first Mod Light race. I think we had five Mod Lights.
Yeah, at the time, there was not many. We just got them.
But, yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, because you bought, the first 4 that was here or something like that?
I bought, my wife could probably tell you, 12 or 13 Mod Lights, I think. And so Duke Layton bought the very first one. He jumped out there when Kenneth was kind of monstering one together with a Legend car with the quick change rear end and all the suspension off the Mod Light. And then Duke went out and bought the very first Mod Light that they had got the rear ends out of from. And then I went out and went to Dan Messier, and I actually took off and drove to Ohio in a U-Haul trailer that we thought was good to go with the Mod Light. We got up there and figured out it was about a half inch too narrow. We had to pick the car up and put it in there at an angle to bring it home. And then after that, I bought a bunch of them over the years trying to get them here. I think they're a really cool car. A lot of guys still driving today are driving. I told the guy in Charlotte, you don't have to have a 2022 chassis Mod Light. Donovan proved that with a $3,500 car I sold him in that 29 and won I don't know how many races at Fayetteville and Rockfish and Lakeview and County Line. So, the Mod Lights was something, kind of near and dear to me when we first started them, and they're just a cool little race car.
The Legends, totally different story.
That's right.
Because, man, one weekend I probably drove like 10 or 11 Legend races over there at Rockfish. One weekend you'd be doing good, and next weekend I'd start 9th to 10th, and shit, you'll get run over before you get to the damn first turn. I was like, these boys think they race for $5,000, man. Yeah, that's the way they drive. I mean, that's just the Legend class. It's just they still race like that.
Yeah.
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 So you got to be on your toes.
That's right.
And that's that class actually started out as an asphalt car. I think Dad made a lap and a half at Charlotte. Was it a lap and a half? About a lap and a half, and it ended the Legend career right there. Just damn smeared it, son.
That quick.
Huh?
That
Lap
quick.
and a half, Bo. Had a hauler, Bo, rolled up in there, looking like Overton. Hauler, everything. Backed the Legend car out of it, went straight in the damn wall.
Did the steering wheel come off?
Raleigh, yeah. Yeah.
Did the steering wheel come
The
off?
steering wheel come off?
I started 14th, and when they dropped the green flag, I was 3rd.
Damn.
And then I went to 2nd, and then I followed the first place guy till it come down to the point. It's either going to be me, you, or both of us.
8 wheels work better than 4.
I come out of turn 4 down the front straightaway, wide open, right straight into the concrete wall.
Oh.
They told me my right front tire had broke off, and it was under the car. I never felt it break. I never let off the gas pedal.
You pulled a Ronnie Long. You pulled a Ronnie Long.
I got a lot of his fenders sitting in the infield at Rockfish, I can tell you that.
We talk about genuine people. That's one of them.
Ronnie
is a good guy, man.
Yes, he is.
I've met a lot of people in racing, and I've met a lot of crazy people. And SWANNY said there's a lot of my people out there in California. I don't know where I'm taking that. But, I'm a fan of Ronnie Long. I am. Good guy.
Good guy.
I'm a fan of Crystal, too, because she works harder than Ronnie does.
Definitely.
Yeah. You ought to see her on that daggone wrecker. I'm sure you'll see him in here getting shocked before too long. Something of that nature. But we're about halfway through, man. I wanted to make sure I go ahead and put this out there. Carolina chocolate chip, ladies and gentlemen. Do y'all want a chocolate-covered strawberry? We got plenty to eat here. These things are amazing. Carolina chocolate chip. Make sure you get in contact with Savannah 624-9934. Savannah is a huge supporter of racing, as she has been a huge supporter of Wyatt's and for Shine Runners Racing Radio, and we really appreciate everybody that comes together to keep this thing powered up. Tonight we're powered by Eco Advantage Termite and Pest Solutions. But we're going to bust into these things, man. Here you go. I'm going to let y'all do the honors. some
a whole shoot of these things.
Yeah.
Mary, here you go.
She's got them in all kinds of packages. You can get them in 4, 6, 12, 24, all kinds of stuff. So make sure you get in contact with Carolina Chocolate Chip Savannah at 624-9934. And also, another name that might ring a bell, the Blackwell family. Old Timmy. And Chris is going to be coming in here on our next show we've got coming up. But Clay won the photo contest.
That's pretty cool.
I'm going to tell you what, between Ricky Chavis and Renee Blackwell, they had it going on. I don't know if y'all have seen that one. It would be 45, 50, 53, 57, 6. I mean, they fought hard to get
I saw
that.
what Ricky said. He got cut off by Facebook, I think, trying to repost everything.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty good. Thanks, everybody who tuned in on that and helped out. Thanks to Old South Apparel and North Carolina Nightmare pitching in on that, purchasing the winnings for those. And congratulations, Renee Blackwell and Clay Blackwell and the whole Blackwell family for making that happen. You know, is there something that you're looking forward to here in this 2022 season at Rockfish?
I just think having everybody back, you know, when there was a month or two there, we really didn't know what was going to happen. We got to thank Brownie. You know, he's always kind of looked after us and made sure we had a place to go. And this year, we're committed to upgrading the place a little bit. I think it's going to be good for the spectators. It's going to be good for the racers. Just really looking forward to it. I got a couple things, like you said. I got one race, some races coming up with a particular class that we're going to try. I think is going to be a fun show to watch. Stay tuned for that. But I'm looking forward to the Classic is always a big race for us, right? And I think we'll go back to doing the Prelude for the Mod Lights. And, of course, we've had some big legend races there, the $1,000 to win shows, and I think we're going to probably try to do a few of those. And Trucker came down from Pennsylvania and won it the night that Bell and all those guys came. Everybody – so I'm looking forward to just getting out there and getting after it. I got a new crew this year we're going to be doing in the infield, and I think just trying to make it safer, better, faster, more family-oriented, right? I mean, we still open it up where anybody that buys a ticket can go anywhere in the racetrack, and that's kind of what we're trying to get out there so that people come to the racetrack and they can walk straight to your trailer and look at your car and talk to your kids and, kind of that drag racing community type feel.
You're not basically held to a grandstand.
That is the cool thing. It's that you can go and mingle through the pits with the kids or adults.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing the NHRA does very well.
Yep.
Is that everything's a pit pass, and there's only a select few tracks I've ever been to that does that, and your Rockfish is one of the select few, and that's.
And I can say a lot of you drivers too, be on your toes, man. Get in contact with SWANNY, get these hero cards. You see these kids walking through. There was 2 children and a dad walking through the pits, and I said, hey, how y'all doing? He was like, we're loving it, man. This is our first time at the racetrack. I said, well, slide on over here to the trailer. I got Wyatt to autograph a couple hero cards. I got a sponsor. He was like, what I got to do to be on that race car? And I was like, what do you mean? He said, well, I own a business. I'd love to be on the side of it. And I was like, man, that wasn't why I brought you over here. Just I was wanting to give your kids a card. But that whole thing of the atmosphere that you put together there at Rockfish, it's amazing. And something that has been talked about before, that I don't know of another track that does it. You always have to go to get your pay from some grumpy lady who's ready to go home after the race is over. No, it ain't ready yet or whatever. You put on a ceremony for the drivers. I mean, and I don't know if that's how you feel of it, but that's how I take everybody's there from last place to first place is getting a payout, regardless if it's, money to get back in the gate next race or whatever. Everybody gets a little something. And that, to me, that's showing appreciation for your racer. And I feel that a lot of people could learn from that.
Well, I think it's just a good thing to get everybody back together. I know some people that live out of town, they want to come get their payout and get on the road and get going. And some of them do that, and we pay them the next week when they come in or whatever, and that's fine. But I think it's important to kind of just acknowledge everybody, right? I mean, when I first got to Rockfish, they were paying the top 3. And there's nothing wrong with that. Track's got to make money or whatnot. But when we went to the full payout, every driver gets paid regardless. There's a lot to be said. I mean, you go out there, you finish 6th every week or 5th every week, you're still putting the same effort the same money, the same time. You're still coming to the track just like the guy that's finishing first every day. So why not give them something to come back? I just felt like it's a good thing to pull everybody together to acknowledge the people that are doing good and the people that are there every week. You know, they may not be winning every week, but they're still bringing a car every week. They're bringing their grandparents or whatever the case may be. I just think it's important to make sure we pay everybody out and acknowledge who's coming to the racetrack. And that's kind of something we started as soon as we started paying all the way back. And I think it's worked out good. We're not going to deviate from that. It's kind of like bringing all the drivers meeting under that same tent and, you know, having a word of prayer before the races and make sure everybody understands that, you know, we're not there to run for $1 million, like Hank said, and nobody's on a NASCAR contract, and you're just there to have a good time and be aware of the surroundings. I mean, it's a little different environment because we have, like your son, drivers. They look up to these guys. I mean, the Jason Browns and Tim Nyes and all these guys at Brittany Trognans that have raced for a long time. They are the feature there, and so, you know, I know sometimes drivers get hot-headed and stuff, but you got to understand that this is the next generation of racer. However they perceive racing is going to dictate what happens in the next 10 years here. So,
and as a kid, like, I mean, kind of like what you're saying, the kids are looking up to these adult drivers, just like, you know, all of us kids running around, me and Chris Blackwell and Mikey Parker and all of us running around in the pits. I mean, we looked up to you guys and still do. You know, I still feel that in my opinion, I mean, Hank, you're a legend in its own, you know, and
Appreciate it.
yeah. I mean, and I'm not the only person that says that. I mean, Swanny talks about it all the time growing up. You know, Joe will go over to your dad's and help out, and and Felicia. I mean, and you know, being a part of their family as well. It's awesome to hear the stories. My mom used to talk about going over there. When she was a kid, my grandfather, James Johnson, they lived right there on Trade Street.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just a lot of racing in Fayetteville revolves around your family.
I appreciate it. My dad raced a long time. I don't know how many years, but
I see he started, in Rhode Island? Was it in Rhode Island, 48 or something like that? I think it was.
He used to go to, I think it was Thompson, Connecticut, or Stafford, one of them places.
Both of them, yep.
When he was a teenager, then he got in the military, and they sent him to Fort Bragg, and he stayed down here. And he started racing. I've been going to race since I was 1 year old. So and I was born in '56. So my dad raced a long time.
How much is it?
Y'all making me feel old again.
It's changed a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Racing has. I mean, I even, you know, we were talking about the haulers and stuff that they got nowadays compared to one trailer hauling 3 cars to the racetrack, and then you got these stackers with.
I hope it didn't rain.
Yeah.
You know, before you got all your cars home.
Yeah. That's some crazy stuff. What was the average cost back in those days of racing?
I don't know. I just drove and worked on them. I didn't have much to do with the money part, but it was a lot cheaper then than it is now. I can tell you that. Talking to Willie, the prices that the parts and stuff that they had to buy for his car, it's not like we paid. And you know, well, you could if you won a regular race back when I was racing, 80s and 90s, you get $1,200 to win just a regular race. I don't even know how much they're paying now, but
Same.
Yeah.
it's the
Same thing.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? It's a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what's paying. Go-kart racing's paying. And I see your son's got into go-kart racing.
Oh, yeah, you're doing good.
Yeah.
He's
I've
still
seen he's
learning.
been, you know, he learning that whole tire game because that's exactly what that is tires.
That's why I was asking you about the clutches.
Yeah. Well, see, they're on them bully clutches.
Difference between aluminum and a steel clutch.
Yeah. They went to that.
I still say aluminum, the heat or the cold, if aluminum gets hot and then it gets cold, temperature, it changes size. That's why you don't have aluminum valves in an engine, because they get hot and change size when they will cool off. I think the clutches, aluminum clutches do that too. And I don't know that much about go-karts.
Yeah.
I was pointing it out to him, you know, maybe that's one of your problems.
Yeah.
You know, because you run some kind of aluminum housing on the clutch or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had the man in here for that, Brad Page.
He's still learning. He's still learning.
Yeah. I don't think you ever stop learning,
No, I don't guess.
to be honest.
I'll tell you what's fun for me, and course, Hank and I have become friends over the years, him working at Brownies and then coming to work for me at the track. And a lot of times people don't understand. Hank stands up in turn 3. He runs the pack car for me, and then he kind of stands up in turn 3. So at the end of the race, Hank ain't sticking around to get paid. He goes home. He walks home. And so Sunday, I have to go over there and pay him, and we do a little download of what happened the night before.
Yeah.
But, man, he's got so much knowledge. It kills me. You know, people see him over there, they don't understand. He's watching the race, and the whole time he's saying, Bill, that guy's left axle's not turning, or that guy's got his shocks on backwards, or he's seeing it from turn 3, just so much knowledge from racing. And then I go over and get the download from him. It blows my mind. People don't take advantage of the amount of racing that he does there and stuff like that. That's it's unbelievable. Just for me to have him working at the track and then go over and get the download on Sunday, I'm like, you know,
that last race, the Winter Classic, I think it was Friday night. It was both nights, really. The 270s, they were running just as fast as the 600s because they were lapping traffic on the damn second lap of the race. They had already started lapping traffic. Whoever it was leading, I don't know, some guy from out of town.
Tommy Kunzman did really well one night, I know. But
that race has become.
He won it on Friday. Saturday night, he was like 10th or 11th.
That's right.
That's what difference it makes. If you don't get a good heat race or qualifying time at Rockfish, you're on an uphill battle, man, especially that Winter Classic.
That race has become prestigious.
Yeah. I love
like it's to me, that's one of the races. You know, if you're in junior micro or you're in micro racing, that's one of the races to show up to.
Yeah, we had 41 600s this year, and, you know, I don't care what track nowadays, that's a good car count, and the talent. You know,
unbelievable talent.
The young talent that we have coming now on a weekly basis. Some of the kids coming out of Millbridge. I mean, they get out of the car and you go out to payouts, and that's another fun thing. You go to give them your payout and you call their name. You know, Matt Francis, and he comes over and he looks like he's in first grade. And he is wheeling a 600 in 10 and a half, 11 seconds around Rockfish.
My wife asked me. She said, "Did you see that kid that just won that race?
Yes.
The 600 when he showed up and just like shut down
that
the
was Brent
field.
Cruz the first time he came and
like
ran.
literally just shut the whole field down and just jumped out of the car, and he was no bigger than a squirrel, man. I'm like, good Lord.
The talent has really stepped up, and then you get guys like Kyle Spence that have won the Tulsa Shootout a few times, and Tommy Kunzman, and that's when you really got to step up your game. You know, we do really good throughout the year, and the drivers get faster and faster, and this is our track that we're racing on every week, and then to have a guy come in from out of town and just set the pace by a second faster, you know, it really shows you the level differences, and you got to really step up your game. It's become a pretty good race for us. And, you know, we're just running 2 classes, and it's a pit full of cars, you know, and everybody's excited to be there. And like I said, you know, we're paying out more money. We're paying $1,000 to win each night there, but people come from all over. I mean, Florida, Ohio, Pennsylvania is a huge supporter of Rockfish, or has been, and the kids from the Millbridge area. I won't say kids. Tim's not a kid, but he's the granddaddy of them all. But it's unbelievable how much support we've had with that race, and hopefully we can grow that into other classes. I mean, the Prelude race we had way back when Crutchfield won the first one, and all the mod lights that we had, it was exciting to see a full field of mod lights. You know, so hopefully we can get back to that and make racing great again.
Yeah. Well, you have definitely saved micro sprint racing. I mean, other than Millbridge, that's 600, but there was nowhere else to run the 270s at. It was that was a dead class, and then, you know, coming back, and then that wonderful news. I think we hit almost 6,000 views on that video. That was the coldest day of my life, I have to say.
It was cold.
Good Lord, man.
My feet got cold, man.
That wind whipping across there, it was off the chain. But it's such good news, man, to hear. You know, Rockfish is coming back. 2022 is going to be stronger than ever. And I tell a lot of people, guys, we got to support these folks. You know, we have got to. You know, it's not, a lot of people don't realize, but you don't just show up Saturday morning and get the track ready to race Saturday night. You guys are out there Wednesday. Hell, you're out there right now, and we don't start till the March. You know what I mean? But get behind the sport and tell a friend. You know, if you can bring a friend, if every driver would bring a friend, just bring a friend. I mean, what's $20? You know what I'm saying? Bring a friend, You never know. You might hook them. Old South Apparel come out and watch Wyatt race, and they were like, his wife wants her, or his fiance, she wants a car so bad she can't stand it. And she's like, what do I got to do to drive? And he was like, you never know. There could be a star living next door, and you don't know because you haven't brought them to the racetrack.
Right.
I have a lot of people that come up and ask me, they've never been to Rockfish, but a couple guys in the Legends especially, what do I need to know about Rockfish? What do I need to do? I say, don't forget to breathe when you're going around there, because you go around there so fast, 11, 12 seconds, you'll actually forget to breathe like you're supposed to breathe normal. Mm-hmm. And a lot of racers can tell you that, especially the 600s or 270s and stuff. You got to remember to breathe, man.
Do you think that's what happened to Hollywood on that last lap when he was leading? And
I don't know if it happened there, but he said it happened at Bristol when he went running Bristol. He said, I think he either forgot to breathe or it took his breath. One of the two. I can't remember. We have to ask him when we get done here. But he said that's probably he forgot or just it took his breath.
We've heard that more than a couple Sundays where Hank will say he was running out of gas because he wasn't breathing in the car. Yeah. You know what I mean? Somebody will get just wore out from trying to drive 20 or 30 laps at Rockfish and not realize that you can see them slowing down because they're trying so hard.
True. Yeah, that's true.
There's a lot of physical that goes into it. And, as a dad that's up there on the hill, and we have people, they get kind of aggravated with their kid when they come back. You can stand up there and drive that car as hard as you want to, but until you're behind the wheel of that thing, you have no clue what's going on inside that car. There's so much emotion that comes back. And I got my pen. If you've watched my son, I got my pen over here to take some notes. The kids come back or a driver comes back and he's got out of the car before and he's like, just let me sit here a minute. I mean, especially in July when it's hot to death. He's like, just let me sit here a minute and cool down, and I'll get out here in just a second. But there's so much physical agility that goes into racing a car.
Probably one of the coolest trophies we had last year was when the guy brought the watermelons and all the winners. I mean, it was hot as fire. I just wanted to get out of the tower and go have a piece of watermelon with everybody that won one. But that was a pretty cool deal.
That was awesome, dude. We won one of those watermelons from Jimmy Ray.
Jimmy Ray
and Christy Ray brought the watermelon, and because we pulled up on Victory Lane and we got ready to go, and Gary said, "Hey, don't forget your watermelon." And I was like, "What watermelon?" He was like, "That's your prize tonight." And Wyatt thought that was the coolest thing in the world. He's like, "Yeah, I want a watermelon,"
I like cool trophies like that. That's pretty cool.
Well, that one didn't last long because
obviously not. But
we ate that one up.
It's cool trophy stuff like that.
Yeah. So and a lot of fun as far as doing the different races or a quick cash 20 or something. You know what I'm saying? We did a race, the twins race out at Triple T Raceway, the twin 20s, and you race 20 laps, you pull off. You get like a 5-minute break, and then you go back for 20 more. So it was kind of cool, and I utilize that stuff because I'm big into marketing. So anytime we win a title championship, it's called a title championship. Like, that's right. I mean, we won the Chili Bowl we out at Triple T. We won the Rumble out there. So I utilize all that stuff in my marketing aspect, because words sound wonderful.
Probably one of the funnest things we did too with the fans was when we pulled the card.
Yeah,
everybody from the stands could pull a card. If I walked up to you, pull a card, and if that driver's number wins, you win $50. And I saw some excited fans the year we did that.
You get some involved.
We're going to probably get back to that a little bit this year and try to get people involved. And like I said, you got to just get people to come to the track. We're probably the best kept secret we were talking about over here. You got people that drive by the track 3 or 4 times trying to find it.
Yeah.
So got to get the word out this year and just get more people in the stands, and we're gonna get ready for that. We're getting ready for that now at the track, and so I think that's what we got to do, and just all the tracks work together, man. That was one of the things I tried to push. Talking to Dave, talking to County Line, all these people at Millbridge, Jeremy, and I try to work together if we can, and the track's got to work together, man. Or it's just not going to work. Racing nowadays, it's people have to go where they think they can go and benefit themselves, and everybody's just got to work together and accommodate that so that you can get as many cars there as you can, which drives more people, right?
Yeah.
I mean, nobody wants to go and see 3 or 4 cars run. They want to see a full field of cars in every class.
Yeah. Hank, what's brought you to a track? Has there been something that's like bug-lighted you to a track? Or was your favorite Dublin or Fayetteville, or did you have one that you just loved to go to?
No, not a favorite. No, not really. No. I just like racing. I went to a few tracks that I hated. You know what I'm saying? Like Ace Speedway down in Altamont Hall, North Carolina. I hated that place. Went there one time, and I was glad it was the only time.
Was it dirt then?
Yeah, it was a little bull ring.
Oh shoot! Okay,
Yeah,
so
a
it's
little small
also it's
Ace
changed
Speedway.
then.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I've been there. I went there last
And
year.
we got there late, no daggone practice or nothing, so we was kind of screwed from the start.
See, that's a good size asphalt track now. It's
Yeah, I think it's
yeah,
asphalt now.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, a couple of tracks like that I didn't like, but no, normally, we grew up racing up and down dirt roads over there where Southview School is now. Used to be dirt roads all through the woods, so that's how we learned how to drive, run into each other, me and Porky and Curtis.
Speaking of a couple racers, helping racers, Debbie Corpus just posted Joshua Fireball Corpus is going to be sponsoring the Hard Charger all year long at Rockfish Speedway. So whoever you choose for a Hard Charger award is going to win something courtesy of Joshua Fireball Corpus. You know, Fireball's moved on to Bandoleros now, but there's something about that kid. You made the comment last year at the award ceremony or the awards banquet that he wouldn't even hardly talk.
Man,
when
he was quieter than SWANNY when he ate that chip a couple weeks ago. I mean, Fireball, when he first came to the very first, we used to have rules drivers meetings, and when we announced the junior sprint and all that, he came out. He had his mom, his dad, and his sister, and he held on to his mama's leg, and then if she moved, he was on his daddy. And to see that kid now, you know, enjoying himself in the pits. I told him one time at Fayetteville, I walked up and said, Fireball, you win the damn race, I'll give you $100 bill. And he, of course, then I was down in the pits giving him some money. But, you know, he's come a long way, man. That's the great thing to see. You know, we've had a lot of drivers over the years when it first started out there with Kenneth and Brownie to now. We've got a lot of drivers that are running at big tracks, running big cars that started out in a pro go-kart or a legend car or a mod light or a sprint car. I mean, we got people, you know, Ben McCall's in a full-size sprint car, and we got people running a little bit of everything. So it's cool to see them. It's like Hank said, you start feeling old when you see guys that are now driving modifieds that are 30 years old and they started out at Rockfish. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
It's a good feeling to see those kids do that and kind of grow. And the whole junior sprint group by itself, we went to CC's Pizza with you there, last year, my wife and I and Sydney, and just to see everybody just hanging out and being kids. When they get done racing, they're playing matchboxes and football in the infield.
Family.
They all get out and look for each other. That's right. And, you know, I think I see it a lot. First thing Candace will do is run down there and see how wide it is. And I'm like, he's fine. Just checking on him, you know, just making sure. And then after that, the championship race, him and Candace and Wyatt Davis were toting the front and come up on lap traffic and ended up getting together just a little bit. And she was like, I feel so bad. I was like, baby, that was racing. You know, it happens. Nobody did that intentionally. You guys are, you know, racing hard. And
have you ever seen so many girls now?
It's awesome.
In our sport.
We got another girl coming. Ricky Chavis's daughter.
That's right.
Just got a car, and they're looking at putting that thing together. So that class is going to end up with 15 or 16. And
the look on her face when she came out the door and saw a sprint car sitting in the front yard, micro sprint or whatever. Yeah. It's just good to see, man. The girls, you know, where do you see that nowadays? Yeah. You know what I mean? There's some really good ones out there racing, and Millbridge has got a few, and Brianna Lawson, you know, look where she's come from. She started in a junior sprint, won a championship there, went to a 270, then a 600. She's running a 305 this year with a the Carolina series, and she's going to still run a 600 a lot, and that's definitely helping her game. But to see somebody like that who's still young, she might be 13, 14 years old, but she's been racing for years now.
Yeah.
And to see their career progress is pretty cool for me.
Yeah, we got another comment come in from Dwayne Parker. Said Dalton Wilson just finished third in the heat behind Pearson and Donnie, or behind Devin. So that's a man, I tell you, that's on that wheel, man. That Dalton Wilson, he's one you're gonna be hearing from for sure. You know, but we're reaching around that 8 o'clock hour, man. Is there anything else you guys would like to say?
Nope. Come on out to Rockfish. You get to see plenty of action.
Come on over to turn 3 where there's a pure legend standing there.
That's right. I mean, if you don't know what's going on with your car, you can come over there and get a little advice in 3. He could probably tell you what's going on with it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just cool to have people like that around. I've been blessed with a lot of good people at Rockfish, you know, and from Billy, Larry, just so many people that I could name. And we're still doing our, you know, Hall of Famers, and it's just a good thing. Come out to the banquet the 19th, get you a good meal, and just watch some of the kids' expressions and the drivers that have been here a while, right? We got some really senior micro drivers that have been doing it since Hammer Down days. They've been committed to this area, and they're still hammering it out. Legends, Billy Gomez and some of these guys that kind of brought that group around, and look at it now. It's 30-plus cars, I think, in the Fayetteville area. So,
yeah.
You know, just come out, support the tracks. Even if you don't like what one track's doing, don't bash them. Just go where you want to go. You know, if you don't like the NASCAR thing, it's like Kenny Wall said, go support your local dirt track.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't like that, go check Fireball out down there on the asphalt.
Yeah.
You know.
Usually it's that guy complaining that's going to be the first one at the gate anyway, so you might as well just save it. Save it. But we are tonight, man, powered by Eco Advantage Termite and Pest Solutions. Glad to be in the house. Big shout out to Carolina Chocolate Chip with those strawberries. Miss Mary, did you get yourself a strawberry?
No, I haven't got one.
We're gonna break into them things here shortly. We're gonna give that to you. She left us a couple, so happy Valentine's Day. And we appreciate everybody, man. Y'all coming in tonight means a lot. Hank, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You know, Swanny, you got anything, Bo?
That's about it, man.
Do you guys like halibut?
Oh my God, drop
Halibut.
it.
Halibut.
Drop it.
Have you ever ate halibut?
Oh, yeah.
What's a halibut?
Oh my
Fish.
God, drop it.
It's like a big flounder.
Yeah, yeah.
Swanee, I actually, when I watched the chip challenge, I told Rooster this when we were doing the podcast out there at the track. I've never seen Swanee completely. He didn't want to say a word. I texted him. He can tell you. I texted him that night. I said, Swanee, are you okay, man? Are you still breathing? What is going on? I mean, he didn't talk. He didn't say a word.
And it was bad as my phone died.
Yeah.
So then I didn't text nobody back for like an hour. And my phone, I had like 30 messages on there. They were like, "You all right?" And I texted him back. I said, "Yeah, I'm good."
It was a perfect night to gum some chili.
Yeah.
It was, man.
Yeah.
That stuff was so good. I got on it.
But that chip was. I texted Danny B, like, he posted something about a tree. He was growing a tree or something like that. And I said, that damn thing better not grow none of them hot chips. But it was, I mean, that thing was rough, man. I mean, that was probably the hottest. I eat Thai food pretty hot, but that chip was
Smoking.
Yeah.
dude. But,
I do want to, before we get out of here, want to send a big shout out to Cameron Dove picking up his first win down at Lakeview in the Junior Sprints race this weekend. And also a big shout out to Jeffrey Ward for putting that race together, man. That was a good race down there as well. Sending that shout out to Renee Blackwell for winning the photo contest. And y'all keep an eye out for that. We have got another photo contest that's going to be coming up here in about a month or so. We appreciate everybody who goes in that, supports. I think, man, we gained about 400 or 500 likes just by doing that photo contest. That was pretty good stuff.
Something that I just want to shoot out while we're out here talking about it, Tommy Kunzman, who's a driver from Pennsylvania that we've been talking about. I don't know if anybody saw it, but he won. They rained out Friday, Saturday, and ran 3 features on Sunday. He's the only driver I know to win 3 features back to back to back.
Oh, man.
They ran 3 races, and he won all 3 of them. Took $3,000 home.
Where was this at?
Micro 600s up in the PA somewhere. I can't remember the track, but I saw that the other night, and I was like, man, that's pretty.
That's pretty impressive.
tough.
You know something else that was cool with seeing the bringing it Kyle Busch and them racing up there at Tulsa this year in the 600s.
Anybody looking for a job, he just posted they're looking for somebody to full-time ride the country with Braxton Busch to show him the ropes. It's on Facebook now. They've got an ad going. And
B-Rex has been kicking tail, Bo. He really has.
Doing it. Like his dad said Sunday, he's outrunning me. He's winning more than I am. You know? So that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome to go over there. If you haven't seen it, go to Millbridge on a Tuesday or Wednesday night. Check out these kids, man. It's unbelievable.
That race in itself, that outlaw cart is amazing. I remember the first time we went out with Jason Brown, and it was crazy. Just the action that's out there, too, man. It's good stuff.
You never know. You might see one of those races at Rockfish once this year, too.
Yeah, that'd be pretty neat. We'd love to see
I was hoping so. Them are pretty badass little cars, man.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, man, thank you guys again so much for coming in. Swan, you got anything else, bro?
No. Oh, Triple T's racing this weekend.
Triple T is
It's the
racing
Chili
in the
Bowl.
Chili Bowl down there
Chili
this
Bowl.
weekend. Go down and see that. And I heard that Triple T's changing hands.
Changing
Terry Odom's backing out of Triple. Well, not backing out, but Terry Odom has got somebody else that's picking up the lease there at Triple T as he makes his way on. He's working with that Reaper tire, trying to get the Reaper tire, out with Harold and them guys, and still doing a lot of big stuff down at Paradise. But you look into that, man. If you guys are in the karting, definitely follow Terry Odom. He has got a good program going on, and go down and support those guys at Triple T. We actually were able to do a junior sprint race down there, and that was a good race. The duel had a good time. But
He said they're doing more local racing, so that's good for the guys that's local.
the best thing I seen down there, because go-kart racing has got very, very, very big.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're rolling in there with toters, with go-karts. But they did a backyard race, man, backyard series. They were coming in there in U-Haul trucks and pickup trucks and stuff of that nature. So it was pretty cool to see that. But it's always good to get out and support your local racetrack, no matter what it is. If it's go-kart racing, sprint car racing, hell, running around the track. Get out, support your local racing, keep it alive. And come on down Rockfish Speedway and see us this year. It's going to be a great time. As always, big shout-out to Eco Advantage Termite and Pest Solutions, AJ Bellinger Motorsports, Studio 24 in the house, man. I think it's about that time.
It is.
Yes, sir. Well, y'all have a good one, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.